Hi everyone, welcome. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Bariatrics and Tips. I am Michelle Geeson, your hostess with the mostest for today. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new to our show, welcome. I hope you enjoy our time together. I'll tell you, I say it every week, I look forward to this. It's fun doing the meal prep and it's fun showing and telling all the good stuff. I'm just really happy that we have a great day like today to talk about salad dressings, dips, and spices. You know, one thing we all have in common is that we have all had weight loss surgery or we're gearing up for it. But just because we're given this second chance and this tool doesn't mean we have to be deprived of eating well. Food is a huge part of our lives, whether we like it or not. And so we really have to, it's eat or be eaten, I guess, and I'm choosing to eat. And not only am I choosing to eat, I'm choosing to live large, cook small, and find flavor in everything that I do. So remove the word deprived from your vocabulary because there's no reason you should ever have to feel like you are being deprived of something. Life after bariatric surgery isn't meant to be spent just wishing that we could have this or that or being deprived of this or that. We can have fun with food. This is our second chance at life. This is our chance to make good with the choices that are taking us forward in our journey. So just in case you don't know, I had gastric bypass surgery April 22nd, 2015. I refer to that as my rebirthday. So my 6th rebirthday was just last month. So yay, I've lost 130 pounds. I've kept it off the whole entire time. And I've worked hard, just like you guys have worked hard through this journey. There's been the good, the bad, and the really bad, and the really ugly. And you know, we're only human. And I've got news for you. We're gonna make mistakes. But the point now is, are you strong enough in your own journey to be able to isolate bad behaviors and trends and just knock them out of the park and nip them in the bud? I have a feeling you are. And so I've dedicated myself to sharing ways that I can help you along that journey with the choices, the food choices that we make. I like to live large and cook small and find flavor in absolutely everything that I do. And it's worth the time and the effort. I'm worth the time and the effort, and I know you are too. So that's my rant. Bariatric rant over for the time being. So before we dive into today's show, I do want to do our Sunday Spotlight. I've got a great member of our group page to celebrate with you, and I hope that you'll join me in celebrating Tiffany Sims. Tiffany, she's got quite the docket here, okay? So I'm gonna try and make it as quick as I can. But Tiffany is 6 months post-op from gastric sleeve, so her rebirthday is November 10th of last year. Her goal weight is about 125 to 130 pounds, and she estimates she's around 165 right now. I'll tell you why she doesn't know yet in just a moment. But she did want me to let everyone know that she went from a 1X in tops, she went down from a 1X in tops and a 16-18 in pants to a loose medium in t-shirts and a 10-12 in pants. And that is amazing. Congratulations, Tiffany. That's a huge milestone, and you should be so proud of yourself. You know, she says that her journey has been a roller coaster. And in high school, she was underweight, actually really underweight. She developed some eating disorders due to low self-image. She always wanted to be popular. And she had some trauma growing up that led to binge eating disorders. And then she ended up gaining weight. She went from 115 pounds to 294 at her highest. Unfortunately, a couple of suicide attempts had to occur before she learned how valuable her life was. And she was okay with me saying that to you guys. And it's really a true testament to how far we've all come on our individual journeys. Tiffany lost 45 pounds on her own before she started going to school for fitness and nutrition. She lost over 100 pounds, over half of her body weight, and maintained it for over 6 years before another abusive situation arose. And she says that she never really healed her demons fully before, and she says that's what contributes to them getting the better of her. So she ended up moving out of state. She lives in Arizona. She's been there for 5 years. She took back her health. She joined a gym. She worked with a nutritionist and hired a trainer. And after over 2.5 years of doing everything, she was having a hard time seeing the scale and her measurements change at all. She felt like she was fighting a losing game. So she ended up making a call because she had heard about a family member that had the sleeve, and she had her consultation in March 2020, and she was sleeved that November. So she says it's the best decision she's ever made for herself. But flash forward to this past January, she was in a really bad car accident that left her with a very, very badly broken leg, and she's still in recovery and still wearing a cast. But here's the silver lining, because there is one in every journey. She says that she wholly believes in trusting the process. She says being mindful of where you at emotionally is the key. Working with therapy, mentally and physically, really understanding how much your life is impacted through your physical life. And that really determines your success. And that's truer words have never been spoken, Tiffany. She said up until early May this year, she was confined to non-weight bearing. So she spent a lot of her time this year seated. And she doesn't ever regret for a minute having the surgery. She says it's actually made her healing so much easier, which again, truer words for sure. She says 3 things that she thinks can help anyone in any stage in the process. Knowing your why you got that way, why you want to change. Knowing your why, that's going to help keep your mindset strong when hard times arise. And that's a great coping technique too. Be willing to work on yourself wholly, not just the little parts, but everything. When everything is in balance, you find that the journey is even more worthwhile. And then trust the process. Everybody is different, and the comparison game is deadly to your mental health. And again, you are my hero, Tiffany. You are so true. You are so correct. We all have different walks in life. We aren't cookie cutters of each other, but what we all can do is support each other no matter where we are at. And Tiffany, you've got some really good points that you drove home, and hopefully everyone that is watching or watching the replay will be just as proud of you as I am. So congratulations, Tiffany. Round of applause for Tiffany. Thank you so much. I do have a picture I want to show you. I want to show you, you might not be able to see her, you might not be able to see what her shirt says, but her tank top says faith over fear. And I think that's amazing. Whoa, I just tripped, sorry, hold on. Here's her picture, before and after. Got it? Can you see it? Hopefully you can see the ring light shadow, sorry, but you can kind of get the gist of it. So nice job, Tiffany. You rocked it out, and I appreciate you allowing us to see where you came from and how you are now. So it's a huge part of your story. So be proud. Thank you. So now we're going to segue in to our today's show. We are going to talk about salad dressings, dips, and spices. And I want you to be able to see how all of this stuff relates to each other, because you can kill a lot of birds with one stone. And that's what I want to make sure that you understand, especially now since we've got Memorial Day tomorrow. Hopefully you can see some things here that you can use even tomorrow or as you celebrate. So first of all, I know that we're talking about salad dressings, and where there's salad, there's lettuce. And for me, I just want to tell you about a best practice is to vary the kinds of lettuce that I use in my salads. So I love arugula, romaine, baby spinach, and kale. Those are my 4 go-tos, and they all have different textures and they all have different tastes. And so when you combine a lot of those things, you get a very full flavored meal that leaves you feeling anything but deprived. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that out. But once you start making vinaigrette, your own salad dressings, you are not going to want to go back. I don't even know the last time I bought a store-bought salad dressing. So much sodium, so much, at times, high fructose corn syrup. So This is just going to give you a really good foundation. You know, the traditional French vinaigrette recipe requires 1 tablespoon for every 3 tablespoons of olive oil. That's a little bit of a benchmark. I kind of vary it up a little. The Americanized versions and the light versions tend to be a little bit less, but you always want to balance that olive oil and vinegar out. And there's a ton of different kinds of vinegar. Off the top of my head, you've got your red wine vinegar, your balsamic vinegar. Those are my 2 favorites. White wine vinegar, champagne vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and sherry, which is like a dry wine. And that's similar to the red wine vinegar. It's just a little less intense. So I want to show you here, I've got red wine vinegar. I've got champagne vinegar. Champagne vinegar, like I said, it's milder than a white wine vinegar. And then here's the white wine vinegar. Different kinds. These, I believe, these both came from Aldi. So if you have an Aldi, very inexpensive. This is balsamic. This is the white wine vinegar. The champagne vinegar is just a little bit milder than the white wine vinegar. And the white wine vinegar is really mellow. It's nice with delicate flavors like different spring greens, zucchini, cucumber, things of that nature. The balsamic vinegar, this balsamic vinegar is the Tastefully Simple brand, but I usually buy Pompeian too. I mean, I get really what's on sale, but I did spring for this because I got it free the last time I hosted a party. So aged balsamic vinegar of Modena, I think that's how you pronounce it. But balsamic vinegar is one of my favorites, and it's bold, it's slightly sweet, and it's got maybe it's paired well with fruit, so it'll really help bring out those flavors. Red wine vinegar, that packs a punch. It's crisp, it's bold, it works really well with bright vegetables and feta cheese, so ideal for like a Greek salad dressing if you're gonna do that. So that's my 411 on vinegars. You can really just choose what kind of vinegar suits you if you have a favorite, or if you're making something that's themed like Greek or Italian, you can gauge your vinegars accordingly. And there's lots of different websites. You can just Google, you know, what vinegar do I use, and you'll get like a ton of stuff. But what you really need for a good, simple vinaigrette dressing is olive oil as the base. And I've got my olive oil here. This is extra virgin olive oil, and I always buy it in the huge, it's 101 ounces. This I get from Sam's Club. It's the most economical because I go through it. And here's an OCD neurotic tip. I always write, right here you can see Sharpie, I always write the date that I started. So I started this container April 19th of this year. So it's only been like a month and a half since I got it, and I'm about maybe a third of the way in, but I use it for so much. So that's the olive oil. You want to use that as your base. You want to use the vinegar of your choice. Dijon mustard, just a tablespoon or 2, and I have it somewhere right here. Dijon mustard, it adds a nice flavor and a nice zippy tang, and even if you don't like Dijon mustard or mustard in general, you're not going to taste it, but it adds just such a great flavor dimension to it. And then when you're making your vinaigrette, you always want to have some sort of sweetness to balance out the acidity of the vinegar. So whether you use honey or artificial sweetener, and when you look at the recipes today, I say AS, which is artificial sweetener. The good thing about using Splenda is you don't need a lot. A teaspoon, I usually put it in a teaspoon at a time, but there is one of the dressings I'm going to show you today where I did use honey. And my stance on using sugar and oil in your salad dressing is that, first of all, if you're anything like me, I use it just to give it that hint of flavor. I'm not going to drown my salad in it because then I'm negating any nutritional content. The whole idea is to use the things that you like and get that flavor, so that way you're not feeling deprived. And either one of these, you can use whatever you'd like. So that's the sugar and the sweetened deal. You always want to add some garlic. Garlic adds the oomph to it. And then fresh herbs add another brightness to it. So you could use like cilantro. I just bought this, mint leaves, fresh basil. Oh my God, it smells so good. Like I just put this right here and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm happy. So at any rate, I've got all my herbs here, and you can add fresh herbs, either diced or pureed, however you want. And then of course our dear friends salt and peppers here. So always want to have fresh ground pepper and salt. Sea salt, this is Mediterranean sea salt. I always make sure that I have that on hand. So really those are the key ingredients to making an amazing vinaigrette dressing. Now we all know the oil and vinegar don't mix, and so we want to make sure that we have some sort of emulsion or an emulsifier, which helps keep everything combined. Emulsifiers, the best ones are egg yolks, mustard, mayonnaise, avocado, honey is a great emulsifier. And really when you look at the trend there, you're seeing either sugar or fat helping to keep everything combined. But most emulsifiers are temporary, and so you're going to get the separation here, and when you, if you can see it, and all you do is shake. But when you're shaking your dressing, you just want to make sure that you're putting it on your salad right after you shake it. So it's okay if it separates. That's just, you know, chemistry. But there's 3 ways to emulsify. You can actually whisk it in a bowl. You can shake it in a jar. You can shake it a couple different ways, and I've got the visual aids for you. You can shake it in a mason jar with the lid on. You can shake it like I did in a ketchup bottle-ish type thing. Or you can shake it in a shaker cup with that fun little springy thing. I use this for my protein shakes too, so lots of different ways to shake it up. Or you can use a blender or a Ninja or a food processor, whatever you choose to do. The blender and Ninja, that's really good when you have like the herbs or ingredients that are not as liquidy as others. So 3 different ways to do that. And then the most asked question here, can I use Greek yogurt in dressing? And the answer is heck yes. General rule of thumb is like 5 ounces of Greek yogurt plus a tablespoon of olive oil plus a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. When you think about the things that I just said, you've got those emulsifiers in there that help keep everything blended, and you get like a nice full flavor of it as well. So that's really good too. I want to show you the dressings that I've already made, and I want to talk to you a little bit about spices because I want you to see that you can use this very interchangeably. You can use your salad dressings as marinades too, and you can use your favorite spices as salad dressings, as marinades, and even as dips. And I'm going to show you how. This dip that I made, I used, hold on, let me find it. I used Tastefully Simple's citrus herb seasoning. It's really light and crisp, and it just tastes great with, I cut up some peppers. These are the peppers that I've been buying lately because they're smaller and they're bite size. And so I cut one up, and you can see the dip looks amazing. But if I have dip left over after my Memorial Day feast, I can actually add oil and vinegar to this and turn it into a salad dressing and just throw it into my shaker and get it diluted a little bit, and it'll be perfect. But right now, I've got a pretty amazing dip that I can use for crackers or for vegetables. I got broccoli and cauliflower in the fridge that I can't wait to dunk in this. That's what I'll be eating when we're done here today. And so you can use your favorite spices to be able to do this. So this is the honey lemon dressing that I made. And this is going to accompany the recipe that I'm showing you today, which is your cantaloupe salad with honey lemon dressing. And yes, just as it states, I did use honey in this. I didn't use a lot. When the recipe calls for a particular sweetener, I always start with what I'm most comfortable with. So I start a teaspoon or a half a tablespoon at a time, and then I taste it. And the best way to taste a vinaigrette dressing is not with your finger, not with a cracker, but with a leafy vegetable or a pepper, because that's how you're gonna be able to really gauge the flavor, is with what you're eating it with. So this is the honey lemon dressing. What I did for this recipe was I took a diced cantaloupe, a half of an English cucumber, and I didn't use an English cucumber, I used a mini cucumber. They're so stinking cute, I can hardly speak. I used a quarter cup each of loosely packed mint and basil leaves, fresh. You definitely want fresh for this. And you julienne them, so they're in little strips, and they're so pretty in this salad. And then the recipe that you're gonna see this afternoon posted on our group Facebook page is actually, the recipe calls for raspberries, but here's a true story. I didn't buy raspberries yesterday because they weren't on sale. So I figured maybe they'll be on sale today when I go back to the grocery store. Well, raspberries for like a small little baby pint were like over $4. And I'm sorry, I love raspberries, but I wasn't about to do that. But blackberries were on sale, so I bought blackberries. So that's what you see here. This is still cantaloupe salad with honey lemon dressing. It's just, instead of a raspberry garnish, you've got the blackberry garnish, and they're really quite pretty. And I didn't put the dressing on yet. I'm gonna do that now. But really the dressing is equal parts lemon juice and honey. I'm sorry, scratch that. The dressing is equal parts lemon juice and extra virgin olive oil. And then it called for a tablespoon of honey, and I used a half a tablespoon. And then sea salt to taste. So, and I actually made a lot more than what the recipe called for, because I want to keep this and put it on my salad for the week to come. But so now I'm just gonna put it on the salad, and we will get some forks to toss it. Oh, and my dog heard the drawer open, so now he's at my feet wanting this gorgeous salad. He likes cantaloupe. Don't you, Lego? I'll give you some. You know I will. So anyways, here's our dressing in our salad. And it's so light and crisp. It's got the perfect amount of sweetness in it. You can gauge yours accordingly. Remember, the whole basis of this is to show you basic recipes that you can use to add the things that you love, the things that won't make you feel deprived, okay? So that's our salad. This was a really great dressing. I made this today, and I'm using my Pampered Chef shake and serve. Sherry, you're watching. Tell me the name of this again. I can't remember what it's called, but I was able to measure all the ingredients, and now I can shake it, and now I can serve it too. So this is really good because this uses Tastefully Simple's red razzy pepper oil. So I used this oil that has all these herbs and spices. I added some red wine vinegar because I thought it would pair really well. Just a squirt of Dijon mustard. And then I put just a tiny little teaspoon of Splenda in it just to counteract that tartness. It's got a zip and a punch and a kick, and it does all the karate here in my mouth. It's karate in my mouth. It's delicious. And so just to show you all the things that you can use, today, this afternoon, you'll see another recipe for an Asian vinaigrette, and that requires sesame oil. So it really matters the kind of vinegar that you use and the kind of oil that you use will dictate the flavors and the theme. And then this is just my regular balsamic vinegar recipe that I love. It's equal parts of olive oil and balsamic vinegar, some salt and pepper to taste, a tiny bit of brown sugar Splenda, and some Dijon mustard. And I've been making this for years, and it's my go-to dressing, and usually it's filled up to the top. And I don't know how often I go through it, but it stays emulsified pretty well, and I think it's probably in part because of the Dijon mustard. And then finally, this is a creamy vinaigrette dressing made with Greek yogurt and low fat or fat-free sour cream. I actually bought at the store today, I bought fat-free sour cream because I didn't think that I had any sour cream in the house, and lo and behold, I had some light sour cream left. So again, you're not gonna be like drowning your salads in this, and so it's okay to splurge in the name of flavor and not feeling deprived. So we've got that going for us. And then finally, what I wanted to share with you is you can take all of your favorite spice blends, because I'm a huge Pampered Chef addict, and Tastefully Simple is probably in second place, as you can see from all the products that I use. And so I've got the Tastefully Simple spices I have are CC cilantro, citrus herb, and garlic. All of these make amazing dips. And Tastefully Simple says that basically you just use half and half sour cream and mayonnaise, but Michelle, the bariatric babe, that's what I'll call myself right now, I tend to do Greek yogurt, non-fat, then I use light or fat-free sour cream, and then I do just about a tablespoon of olive oil mayonnaise, just to give it a little bit of richness without ODing on fat and calories. And so that's how I turn my dips into something that I can have without feeling guilty or deprived. The Pampered Chef seasonings that I have, there's one missing, and I think I have to go into the back and open another one. The Jamaican jerk is my all-time favorite, and I make a really good Jamaican jerk chicken, but I've also made a really good Jamaican jerk dip using the things that I just told you, and a Jamaican jerk vinaigrette dressing that is just, the wow factor is amazing. But this is Southwestern, this is sweet basil, and this is Greek. And this just goes to show you that you can take any of your spice blends and you can make them into a salad dressing based on your tastes. It's one of the most amazing revelations that I have had. And when I was preparing for this segment, I started thinking to myself, wow, I really have some like hardcore convictions about salad dressings, dips, and spices, because I love them. And my spice cabinet is bursting at the seams, and I've got tons of different kinds of vinegars, tons of different kinds of oils, and I do that purposefully because any of these I can turn into a dressing, a dip, or a marinade, and that is so revolutionary. I'm just so thrilled, and hopefully you realize the possibilities too. Okay, so dips and spices, marinades, dressings, go crazy and experiment. All these ingredients are available even at dollar stores. You can get olive oil, you can get vinegars. Aldi is a great place. You know, the Tastefully Simple oils, I hosted a party and I ended up getting them free, so it was a no-brainer for me to try them. I love them, but I also know that you can get those kind of specialty oils at places like Home Goods or TJ Maxx or even Target. Amazon is a great resource as well. Amazon is actually where I got this champagne vinegar. That's where I saw it on Food Network and I was very intrigued, and I really had never heard of it. There are so many kinds of vinegars, and really it just all boils down to what you love. And that's why there are no rules, which I love. Rules are meant to be bent and flexed and maybe somewhat broken, but in the bariatric world, finding the workaround is critical to your success, to your journey, and to not feeling deprived. So that is my salad dressings, dips, and marinades, and everything rant. I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully I've given you some really good food for thought. I'm excited to eat some of that salad, some of that dip, some of these peppers. If you have any questions about any of the products or tools or anything that I've used today, please let me know. I'm always happy to share. I am an open book that way. I want you to know that Bariatrics and Tips is on all social media. That includes Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat. And remember, if you have any questions about this or anything in general, always keep your dietitian and surgeon in the loop. They're the professionals, they know best. Remember, the things that I'm showing you are what work well for me in my journey, and I'm not trying to brainwash or intimidate you. I'm just trying to help you think outside of the bariatric box so that you too can feel empowered with the food choices that you make. It's so much easier to stay focused on your journey when you realize that even though you have this bariatric tool, there are still no limits. And you can do or have whatever you want. You just have to find the best way to do it, okay? Coming up next week on June 6th, we have Breakfast Bonanza. That's gonna be a fun one. June 13th, we're gonna have lasagna. I have a huge lasagna conviction too, so I can't wait to show that for you too. And then on June 20th, it's gonna be all about yogurt. And again, I love yogurt. So if you have any ideas for future broadcasts, please let me know. I'm certainly open to everything, and I've only got those 3 scheduled. I've really got to put on my thinking cap and get some more on the docket for summer. They'll be summer focused, and we'll have fun with it and everything. So I talked a lot. I hope you saw a lot, and now I'm gonna go eat a lot. So thank you so much for being here today. I know it's a holiday weekend. If you weren't able to be here in person, I know that you're probably watching this as a replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like my YouTube page. I would love for you to subscribe. And thanks once again to Tiffany Sims for the Sunday Spotlight. She will be sent a Bariatrics and Tips magnet in the mail. And if you want to be featured on the Sunday Spotlight for next week, just send me a message and give me a short bio and some pictures, and we will make it happen, okay? Happy Memorial Day, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Take care. Bye.